Reports started coming out at the end of last week after, of course, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis has now secured 4 individuals agreeing to turn state witness and flip on other co-defendants in exchange for lesser penalties. But reports started swirling saying that Fannie Willis's main goal, and we had talked about this before, but her main goal was, of course, to have only one trial. A trial against Donald Trump. She doesn't want to have to do 19. Now she definitely doesn't have to do 19. But she doesn't want to have to do 15. She doesn't want to have to do 10 or 5. If she can keep it to one trial on one person, that'll be great. But there's a hiccup. And that hiccup, of course, is Rudy Giuliani. And right now, the pressure is on Rudy Giuliani to flip against Donald Trump, especially considering Jenna Ellis's flip last week when she was accused, she was indicted for the same things Giuliani was. And in her little speech where she started crying in court, she threw Rudy Giuliani under the bus. She said, "I relied on the advice of more experienced lawyers, and because of that, I didn't do my due diligence." So she basically said, listen, Giuliani lied to me. I should have known better, but I didn't. So that's where we're at. So with Ellis flipping, it does put the pressure on Giuliani because Ellis was side by side. I wouldn't put her, like I always talk about the ladder. Trump's at the top. Giuliani's right below Trump. I wouldn't put Ellis on the same rung as Giuliani, but she's right below him. So now we've got the direct link to Rudy Giuliani for Fannie Willis to get information from Ellis that will say that Giuliani 100% committed crimes. You can easily secure this conviction. Once Willis has that info, she then goes to Giuliani and says, listen, man, you're screwed. Like, I've got you here. I've got you on all this. I've got all this evidence. Ellis gave it to me. You're going to lose and you're going to go to prison. Unless you want to play let's make a deal. That's where we're not quite there yet, but we're about to be there. Ellis would not have been offered a deal if there wasn't something she had to exchange in return. That's how these deals work. They don't give you a deal simply because they don't want to prosecute you. They give you a deal because they think you have something of value, or they know you have something of value. That's where we're at. Giuliani, however, through a spokesperson, advisor Ted Goodman, has this to say about the prospect of Giuliani flipping. The only deal the mayor is making is to tell the truth, and unfortunately every single prosecutor in this case is a partisan Democrat focused on their own partisan political ambitions and keeping President Donald Trump out of the White House. Most level-headed Americans, including ones who don't agree with President Trump or Mayor Giuliani's politics, understand that the highly partisan prosecutors in Georgia are doing great damage to our country and to the very fabric of this nation by continuing to weaponize our criminal justice system in an effort to keep President Trump out of the White House. Oh my God, dude. Like, I'm getting mad just reading the stupid crap that you're putting out there. Luckily, that's just an advisor, not his legal counsel, because those are very stupid arguments. Those are the arguments you make when you have no defense for what you actually did. Because notice, he's not defending Giuliani at all. He's simply attacking Democrats. So Giuliani seems like he's not going to flip. So the question becomes, will Giuliani, facing the threat of a minimum of 5 years in prison, think that prison is a better option than flipping on his friend Donald Trump? Because Giuliani still labors under the belief that the man who refuses to pay his legal bills that Giuliani charged him, Giuliani still, however, believes that Trump is going to give him a position. He still thinks he's going to be Attorney General if Trump wins re-election. So will he or won't he? Depends on what Fannie Willis has against Giuliani. But I think it's safe to say that at this point that we're at right now, I don't think Giuliani will flip. If Willis gets some hardcore information that Giuliani knows he can't beat in court, then he will flip. But until we get to that point, I do believe he is steadfast in his resolution that he ain't gonna flip. But you know what? I know reports say that Willis only wants to do one trial, but maybe having to do two trials, one against Trump, one against Giuliani, hell, maybe even putting them together, that's not so bad either. And I'm sure that Willis is probably more than willing to do that if she needs to. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.